Women is everything. They catch me out. They the lick, man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you.
What?
What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? I got twins at 25. I got twins at 25.
However, even though their marriage was pretty rocky by that time, Marcia and Steve Harvey had a son, Broderick Harvey Jr., but just like the twins, Broderick never had a relationship with his father, and it's something he even admitted really affected him.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16. I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
I got twins at 25. Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
He just started spending less and less time with them and eventually decided that his career was more important than his family. I get Steve and Marcia divorcing because it was not working out between them, but abandoning her with 3 kids, that was nasty. And to make matters worse, during an episode of Steve the Show, Steve tried to justify leaving his first wife and kids, saying that he was trying to find himself.
He had to understand what my decision that I made at 25. Come on, man. Come on, 25? I got twins at 25. What I'm doing making decisions.
Steve thought he was young and wanted to find himself. Marcia was the one left to raise 3 kids on her own.
What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? I got twins at 25.
I would have gladly left Steve Harvey alone if he wouldn't have went on Shannon Sharpe show sounding like a straight idiot. The problem I and a lot of other people have with Steve Harvey is you can't trust him. In one breath, he turns around and says,
These dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children? That's our damn job.
And then in another breath, he turns around and says this.
What my decision that I made at 25. Come on, man. Come on, 25? I got twins at 25. What I'm doing making decisions.
What are you talking about? So what is it? Do you get married, settle down, and have 3 kids and stay with your wife? Or do you leave your wife with 3 kids to go marry another woman and then leave that woman and turn around and go marry another woman? Which is it? And some of you that may know me may say, well, Mr. Let Go, you did the same thing, didn't you? You left your wife when you was
25. Come on, man. Come on, 25?
But there's a huge difference. I didn't leave my kids. This man left his wife and his kids, 3 of them. I didn't leave my kids chasing stardom. Now, a man finds his purpose. He becomes a provider. He's a big star. Cool. But at the end of the day, you do not start a family and then start leaving everybody to go chase your purpose. I waited until my kids were grown before I actually started chasing my purpose. And that is the difference. I'm who I am now, but my kids are grown. I didn't turn around and leave and move away and start chasing stardom when my kids were toddlers. And the problem I have with Steve is, like I said earlier, he turns around and tells all these young guys to do all these things that he didn't even do. And not only did he not do it, he turns around and justifies not doing it like it's okay not to do.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16. I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
I got twins at 25.
But then turns around and tells young guys not to do it when he didn't do it, but justified not doing it. And I get it. No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't get it. But the bottom line is, when it comes to a man, you make mistakes, you have transgressions, but what do you do after that? Well, according to everything we know about Steve Harvey, he turns around, leaves his first family, chases stardom, and then gets another wife, cheats on her, does her somewhat the same way, the second wife.
Steve Harvey is on his 3rd marriage. His 3rd wife was mistress to his 2nd wife.
And then leaves her, and then goes to a 3rd wife. And then, after all that, now he comes back in his kids' lives. 16 years later, not my words, his son's words.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
So personally, the only way you can trust a man is by how he fixes his issues. We all have issues. We all made mistakes. But how does this man fix his mistakes? No man needs to be away from his kids, not his wife, his kids for 16 years to do anything. Now, he has all this money, everything is great, I guess, but is everything great? Are those children still dealing with childhood trauma because they literally did not grow up with a dad? They had to sit there and look at their dad on TV like everybody else instead of having that man at home with them. And like I said, a man chooses to, go in a different direction and make money for his family. That's understandable. But at the same time, you got to think about, was it worth it? What did the fallout look like after you came back 16 years later? I'm sorry. I personally can't respect that. We all trying to get the money, get the bag and all that, but I'm never going to do something like that at the expense of my toddlers. My kids are grown, so I can do whatever it is I want to do now. But when my kids were little, I'm right there in their faces on a normal basis. What I need to do as far as a purpose, I get a job, come home. My purpose, the thing that's burning inside of me, has to wait. I'll say it again. My purpose, the thing that's burning inside of me that I am doing right now, had to wait. Why? Because I had to raise my children first. I'm not putting myself in front of my children. And me and Steve Harvey are two different people. So I can't fault him for that because that was his decision. But I will fault Steve Harvey for being a hypocrite. He's running around telling this generation this.
These dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children?
But when he was their age, he turns around and does this.
But abandoning her with 3 kids, that was nasty. And to make matters worse, during an episode of Steve the Show, Steve tried to justify leaving his first wife and kids, saying that he was trying to find himself.
He had to understand what my decision that I made at 25. Come on, man. Come on, 25? I got twins at 25. What I'm doing making decisions.
And this is what's crazy. The typical man doesn't even have children at the age of 25. But he has 3 children at the age of 25 and still turns around and leaves his kids. And now he wants to talk mess about this generation doing something that he actually did when he was the same age as this generation? No, we're not doing that. I'm sorry. Shout out to Steve for being a millionaire and all these millions or whatever. But at the end of the day, at what expense? I made mistakes. He made mistakes. Ladies, you've made mistakes. But the bottom line is, we can't replicate those mistakes. We can't keep making those mistakes over and over again because then they're choices and not mistakes. And like I said, I'm divorced also. I walked away from my marriage, but the difference is I did not walk away from my kids. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
I had to go ahead and support Mr. Let Go. Shout out to you for this cool card game. You guys, the questions on here are actually really dope. Like, they're really good questions for couples, new relationship, old relationship. Like, these are actually really good questions on these cards. I'm going to kind of try with one hand to show you an example of a question. Let's see. First question would be, what are your 5 absolute deal breakers in choosing a potential marriage partner? Like, these are the questions that are on these cards, y'all. And they're very, very entertaining, I promise.
What if I told you that playing a simple, fun card game will help you vet the person you're dating better? Over 80 intriguing questions that will help you vet your mate better or the person you're dating better. So either click the link below or click the link in my bio to buy your Deeper Discussions card game.